Hey, I'm 773 Plays. Today we're here with Daishizen for our one-on-one team profile slash interview, where we get to see the behind the scenes kind of the team members, get to learn their design philosophy and a little more about what goes into their day to day. So I'm here with Daishizen. You want to introduce yourself in case anyone's not familiar with you?
Hey guys, nice to meet you.
Yeah. So uh, just so people start out knowing you, some of the softball questions we start out with. So what games did you grow up playing, or what kind of interested you in games?
Growing up, I used to play games like Final Fantasy and The Legend of Zelda. It
Classics.
offered me, yeah, classics, very classics, and I'm really a fantasy game fan. So this game offered me a taste of intricate narrative and character development for the Yaku game. I was captivated by this complex world full of lore and diverse characters, each with unique personalities and compelling backstories. The strong narrative of this game profoundly impacted Yaku's development. We, as a team, aim to build Yaku with an extensive lore that pay homage to its roots in Japanese culture and mythology, creating a rich tapestry of interconnected stories and unique characters, similar to those found in classic RPG like these games. So we believe that a game's narrative is the backbone of player engagement, and it's the reason we place such emphasis on Yaku's lore today.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, man,
definitely.
go ahead.
Really connecting with characters is one of the strongest motivators as a player and as a fan of any show or game or series. Just being able to connect with those main heroes and their stories, etc. And so, yeah, it's great to
Yeah,
hear that that's one of the focuses of the team.
yeah, character and lore is really the basis of every game development. And to be honest, I think it was a mistake for us to not start with that. But we are here today, and we develop everything, every lore as we can, because we believe that it's how we will engage people to be here with the game development.
Yeah, definitely. And we
Uh,
we definitely know that the team has been working really hard on so making sure that it's a story driven game. Am I correct? Story driven universe.
oh, yeah, and some other game influencing myself, like StarCraft, um, just because his gameplay, just as his game emphasizes strategic thinking and adaptive decision making. Yaku as a game encourages players to think critically about their action within the game, whether it's in combat, resource management, or shaping their character's development. The tactical gameplay mechanics of this strategy game have guided our design choice, creating a gaming environment where decisions matter and players are rewarded for their strategic thinking. And
Right.
recently, some game like Fortnite has greatly influenced how we envisioned the social and user-driven aspect of Yaku, because this game have shown the incredible potential of game as a social platform, just not classic game, where players can interact, collaborate, and co-create in shared digital space. And this realization has directly led to the creation of Yaku. Indeed, in Yaku, we aim to empower our player by giving them the tools to shape their environment, create their narrative, and build their communities, much like in these modern metaverse games.
I think that's extremely valuable. Something that Yaku does, and overall, I think that's something that attracts gamers and just Web3 enthusiasts. That the ability to kind of shape the future. That's kind of the whole ethos behind decentralization and DAOs, etc. Is the ability for the individuals to kind of shape these worlds and environments. And it's awesome the fact that within Yaku there's a lot of player driven narrative, player driven experiences, and that's really empowered. I think the team really understands that, and I think that's a really great key moving forward. So we heard the two games that kind of influenced you in your development of Yaku. So can you kind of break that down for us a little bit more and really let us know how that kind of connects with your game philosophy and design philosophy?
Yeah, absolutely. The main game for me is Zelda, especially the last one, which is Breath of the Wild, because they they succeed with the open world development. And Final Fantasy. They are shining example of uncompatible elements of fantasy and ancient technologies that resonate with our vision for Yaku. Zelda revolutionized open world gameplay with its rich exploration and interactivity, offering a seamless blend of ancient lore and advanced technology. One key aspect that has inspired us in the game advanced ancient technology, represented by the Sheikah slates for the Zelda players and its diverse abilities. In Yaku, you don't know yet, but we have the Raging helmets and the Seisui technology, designed to provide a similar sense of wonder and variety. And just add this Shake Athlete, add link with a range of power and function in Zelda, our technology open up possibilities for engaging and interactive experience in our game. The game's expansive and mystical world, filled with diverse ecosystem and culture, is another aspect we admire. They inspired us to create Yaku and as a rich and diverse world, with varying terrain and distinct cultures that players can explore and interact with. Also, the reverence for nature and spirituality in Zelda, symbolized by the great Deku tree and various kami, aligning with Yaku's focus on natural balance and the sacred Seisui. And on the Final Fantasy side, its approach to blending fantasy and science fiction element in a cohesive and engaging manner has been inspiring. The series excels in intertwining intricate narrative with diverse characters, each carrying their unique lore and abilities. For instance, in Final Fantasy VII, the concept of life stream, an energy source connecting all living beings, is reminiscent of Yaku's concept of Seisui. These spiritual essence are an integral part of the respective universe, affecting not just the character but the world itself. Furthermore, Final Fantasy character progression system, where characters learn and grow, gaining new abilities and enhancing their attributes, is something we have considered while developing Yaku progression systems. And we want our players to have the freedom to shape their characters, strategize their growth, and feel a sense of achievements as their character evolve. So both Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy series have served as significant inspiration for Yaku. The depth of their lore and the fusion of ancient and futuristic elements and the intricate character progression system have guided us in creating an immersive and dynamic world for Yakuverse inhabitants, and we aim to incorporate the sense of wonder, exploration, and strategy growth that this game offers into our Yakuverse, providing a captivating gaming experience for our players.
Yeah, I think just having our unique flavor and the Web3 aspect really elevates Yaku into something that's like I want to say a pioneer, a really new type of experience.
Yeah, the Web3 and the fantasy side, if you want to compare us, because a lot of people want to compare us with Cyberpunk 2077, but I think we are a bit more fantasy than them.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
We want to focus on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, just the other incorporated aspects of Web3, like everything being on chain, and the ability for players to actually generate funds if they level something up, or player ownership, and kind of that aspect is really what separates and
Absolutely
helps elevate. Yeah, and I think that's extremely exciting with just being able to build out the worlds like that. So if you could describe your position at Yaku Corp and how you manage your workload.
Yeah, absolutely. As the CEO of Yaku Corporation, I wear many hats, and I'm responsible for a variety of tasks that span different departments and functions of the company. My key responsibility revolves around setting the strategic direction of Yaku, making key decisions that influence the game development and overall business strategy, building and maintaining relationships with our investors and partners, and ensuring that our team is motivated, aligned, and working toward our shared goals. So managing the workload, given the breadth and depth of the responsibility, can indeed be challenging. However, over the years, I've developed a system that allows me to keep everything on track. And firstly, I prioritize tasks based on their urgency and impact on our strategic objective. Not all tasks are created equal, and it's important to differentiate between what needs to be done now and what can wait. It's also important to focus on tasks that will move to need for us in terms of achieving our objective. And secondly, I delegate tasks effectively. As a CEO, doesn't work alone. I have a dedicated and talented team that I trust. And delegation not only lightens my workload, but also empowers the team, giving them ownership and responsibility, which is essential for their growth and the growth of the company. And so, yeah, man.
No, I can just definitely attest personally. Daishizen, I can only imagine he has great organizational skills and workflow skills. I can only imagine. I know how many times I ping him per day, much less much less all the other team members. So I know. Yeah, I have to give nothing but credit. He has a great system.
Yeah, when you start a company, you need to be not an expert, but you need to know everything and be sure that, for example, when I started Yaku, I never started a company which developed a game. So I needed first, before I started everything 2 years ago, that I will have the competence and the knowledge for be sure that I will understand what people hired will tell me. So
Right.
yeah,
Right. In order
because
to manage tasks, you have to understand them at some level to understand if they're being done properly. First.
yeah, you have to understand everything, especially in Web3, where people you want to hire try to, I would not to say scam, but try to say, hey, okay, yeah, I can do this task, but it will be for me 3 weeks, okay? And you say, okay, I have to pay him 3 weeks, but when you know how much time it requires, you say, no, man, this is a work for 2 days, and yeah, and it's like 90% the case. So you have to be sure to have the knowledge in every technical thing in your venture.
No, yeah, I definitely. I know that there's a lot of different. You're having to go back and forth with the dev team, the art team, the marketing team. So you have to. Your knowledge and expertise has to cover a breadth, like a
Yeah,
wide variety of. Yeah, I
just want to
definitely
precis
understand.
I just want to precis that this issue was especially at the beginning, and today our teamers are awesome, and every team member are awesome, and I don't have this problem anymore. Okay, this was especially in the beginning when I tried to hire a lot. 1 year ago, we hired too much people because we had a huge growth. We was in a fucking bull market, and
Yeah,
yeah, it was very very difficult to hire good people. And luckily today we have a lot of good people. It's perfect.
yeah, I agree.
But
The team is
just
not too big where people are going off in all different
exactly,
directions. Everything is focused and organized. I agree.
exactly. It's better to have a few people, but perfect one, very engaging, very passionate by what they do, rather than a very big team. but where the production are very low.
Yeah, definitely. I think for the size of the team, our productivity is pretty great.
Yeah,
What we're able to get done, I think it's pretty excellent. So yeah,
I think
I have to commend you for that. That starts from the top, so definitely has to be. I have to give you some kudos there.
yeah, but
So
You need to communicate also. So
oh
I
yeah,
ensure
definitely.
regular communication with my team, clear communication, ensure that everyone understands their role, the task at hand, and our strategic objective.
Yeah, we're constantly having VC talks with the team,
Yeah,
etc., where
we
we're all
try
lining up. Yep.
to have regular meetings. Sometimes it's hard, but we have our regular weekly meetings, Friday, maybe Wednesday for the next week, where we discuss our progress, address any challenge, and align our next steps. For sure. Okay. So finally, I maintain a healthy work-life balance. So burnout is a real concern in any leadership role, and it's important to take care of one's mental and physical health. So I ensure that I have enough time to unwind, relax, and recharge, especially the weekend, which I turn helps me be more productive and focusing when I'm working in the week. So being the CEO of Yaku Corporation is indeed challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Seeing our shared vision take shape and our effort bearing fruits is a unique experience. And I'm lucky to work with a team that is passionate, really dedicated, and as invested in the success of Yaku as I am. And together we are not just creating a game, we are building a world. And the journey with all its up and down is truly exhilarating.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
just wanted to say something about creating a gaming company, especially in the emerging Web3 space.
Yeah,
Um, Present its a unique set of challenge because first the gaming industry is highly competitive and constantly evolving,
cutthroat.
requiring us to continually innovate and stay ahead of trends. On the other hand, Web3, although brimming with potentials, is a largely unexplored frontier with its complexities and uncertainties, especially on the regulation side. And navigating these intricacies demand a strong vision, unwavering resolve, and a profound understanding of both the gaming industry and blockchain technology. However, we see this challenge as opportunities. They push us to think outside of the box, constantly learn and grow, and stay on the cutting edge. We have built a team with diverse expertise, game developers, blockchain experts, and we focus on learning, iterating, and innovating, embracing failures as stepping stones to success. We are not just creating a game, we are pioneering a new model of gaming in the Web3 space. It's an arduous journey, no doubt, but one we are passionate about and committed to. We believe that the transformative power of Web3 and its potential to redefining the gaming industry, and we are determined to be at the forefront of this revolution, creating a gaming experience that is not only enjoyable, but also empowers its players in a way never imagined before. Just because I said that the gaming industry is very we have a lot of competitors. I just wanted to say a few words why we are different. And at Yaku, we are well aware of the gaming market is saturated with a multitude of choice for players, but we also understand that the blockchain gaming space, while relatively new, is rapidly becoming competitive. However, we have carved out a niche for ourselves by differentiating our game on several fronts. First, storytelling and lore. Let's be clear. What made the game a success is the lore. Zelda and Final Fantasy are nothing without it. We play Zelda to immerse ourselves in a world of our dreams. The lore of Yaku is intricately woven with elements from Japanese mythology, cyberpunk aesthetics, and ecological narratives. Our game offers an immersive experience that encourages players to explore and engage with the rich history and fascinating world of Yaku. Second, the safety-oriented gameplay. The unique gameplay mechanics revolving around the use of safety, the essence of life, adds an entirely new dimension to the gaming experience. Players are not just spectators, but active participants influencing the game's reality, past and future. You will see in the lore. Third, the player empowerment. Unlike traditional games, players will not just play, they will also own their own assets, contribute to the development, and truly live in a virtual world when everything virtual is owned by people, which means that the world development could never end and be improved by the community, like a real city. Basically, Yakushima Corporation is developing and selling a game, but everything virtual has to be running on a decentralized ledger, which has to be out of our control when the game will be ready. This is where we want DAO and sub-DAO of players to manage the virtual assets with predefined rules to avoid getting too far off the brand and the core of the game. Also, integration of metaverse elements. The Yaku metaverse is a vast open world that's constantly evolving. It's a space where the line between reality and the virtual world blurs, offering players endless possibilities. From engaging in virtual economies to interacting with other players in meaningful ways, our games offer a living, breathing metaverse that goes beyond the traditional gaming experience. We understand that each player is unique and their in-game character should reflect an individuality. So in Yaku, players could have wide-ranging options to customize their characters, from appearance and clothing to gear and equipment. And this allows players to express their unique identity within the game and stand out from the crowd. And about leveling up and progression, character progression is another area where Yaku's multiplayer experience want to shine. Players could level up their character by completing quests, exploring the world, battling enemies, and more. And with each levels, the idea is that players gain ascendancy score that they can distribute among their character's attributes, enhancing their strengths and mitigating their weakness. And furthermore, as players progress through the game, they unlock new abilities and gameplay options, adding depth and complexity to the gaming experience.
So, like a skill tree, correct?
Ascendancy score will let you to access on a lot of customization. You will be able to customize your character with locked assets and stuff like that.
Right. So there'll be aesthetics unlocked with ascendancy score as well as increasing your power. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See that's awesome. I know a huge part of especially the MMO aspect is the customization of your character and grinding for titles and different color, color skinnings and all those things. So that's definitely, I know for me, that's going to be a major thing I'm going to be grinding in the Yaku verse.
Absolutely. But that's what we want to.
Yeah. So, as a game developer, we know definitely having the gameplay and the customization is extremely important. But another aspect is the performance. So, uh, we know we definitely need to consider performance optimization for a seamless experience. So, how would you address performance optimization for Yaku? So to ensure smooth gameplay on different devices and PC settings.
Absolutely. Performance optimization is a critical aspect of game development, any game development. Particularly for a game like Yaku, which is designed to play like an MMORPG. Ensuring smooth, seamless gameplay is central to our commitment to providing an exceptional player experience. And here's how I address this challenge. First, the performance first philosophy. So at Yakushima Corporation, we operate with a performance first philosophy. This means that we consider performance and optimization right from the beginning of our development process. It is embedded in the very fabric of our design and development decision. Second, the team expertise. We have a dedicated team of engineers with deep expertise in optimization and performance issues. So they work closely with our designer and artists to ensure that our game assets are optimized for different platforms, reducing the load on memory and processing power. Third, testing and quality assurance. Extensive testing and quality assurance as the key to performance optimization. We conduct regular testing of various devices and platforms to identify any performance bottlenecks or issues. This allows us to catch and address any potential problem early in the development process. But also scalable graphics. One of the ways we address performance optimization is through these scalable graphics. This allows us to adjust the level of details in the game depending on the device capabilities. This way, players with a high-end device can enjoy the full visual experience, while those with less powerful device can still have at least a smooth and enjoyable gameplay experience. That's what we try to do with the performance settings in the menu. For example, if you have a small PC, you have to select the low performance settings to be able to play the game. Also, leveraging technology because we are constantly keeping up to date with the latest technology and software that can help with performance optimization. This includes leveraging new features in our game engine, Unreal Engine, and using advanced tools for performance profiling and diagnostics. That's why we have switched to Amazon Game List, for example, to be sure that people in the world can run the game with the same performance. And last, the player feedback, because it's invaluable for performance optimization. So we maintain an open dialogue with our players, encouraging them to report any performance issues they encounter. These feedbacks help us to understand where we need to focus our optimization efforts.
Yeah, definitely. I know. Just personally, I know that's been a focus that I've seen from the team, really making sure optimization has been there, and that's kind of one of the things that has really been keyed in on since the previous rollback. Am I correct? From the last release of the Yakuverse is optimizing all the assets in the game and just ensuring a smoother performance and that server migration and all those things have been key steps in really enhancing that, right?
Yeah, it's a first target because I know it's hard for a community to not have regular new version of the game, but in our team, our first target is to provide a really optimized gameplay, and the optimization, and maybe I'm not the best to answer that, but I think the optimization is roughly 70% of the work, because having a gameplay is not that hard, but having a smooth gameplay is very hard. Because,
Right.
yeah, having a gameplay is just a piece of code, but having a smooth gameplay is dealing with a lot of interaction between your code. So you have to be sure that something you have developed in one area has not to conflict with another area. And where you have a complex gameplay like Yaku, you have to be sure that everything is running smooth and not conflicting everything. And that's the very hard part of the job. And that's why sometimes we are not confident to release a game or even speaking about it because we don't know how much time we will have to work to be sure that this game will be perfectly run for the user experience, and that's why um, sometimes we are a bit hesitant to market our gameplay because we want to be sure that everything is running smooth. And I'm a perfectionist, and the problem is that when you are a perfectionist, you hire only perfectionists. So when you're a team of perfectionists, maybe we have to hire some people who just say, "Hey, stop, just release." Maybe, but yeah, uh, developing is very hard, and I am a web developer, um, and web developing is roughly exactly that like gaming development. So I know what is this feeling, um, and when you develop something, people don't know about that. If you're not a developer, it's very hard to understand because you say, "Hey, just release, just make this game," because I see some plugin, I saw some people releasing that, so I don't think it's difficult to release. But when you are inside the development, it's not the same because
Yeah,
there is a
definitely. Of
a lot
variables.
of dependencies. And the
Yeah.
dependencies is a core, is really the core of any development, the dependencies. And if you don't manage the dependencies, you're lost. So 70% of your work is managing the dependencies.
Yeah, and definitely, yeah, that's awesome that the team has really honed in on making sure that the gameplay is smooth. The way I look at it is you only have one chance to really make a first impression. And yes, of course, I think Yaku has become one of the more trusted and known brands in the Web3 space, especially within Solana, definitely. But yeah, to a lot of the Web2 consumers, they're still not familiar with this. So, um, it's best to have the most polished product. So once they interact with it, they're hooked right there, and then we can always add content or other things once we have a solid foundation and smooth gameplay base to really build off of. We know revenue is an important aspect of game development, both for the scaling of the business and the longevity of the brand. So what do you think the ideal state of growth looks like, considering it's a metaverse universe type game?
Yeah, generating revenue in ways that align with the game's themes and target audience is a critical part of our strategies. There are several revenue streams that we have identified. First, the obvious in-game transaction. This is a common revenue model for many games and fits well with the theme of Yaku. Our players can purchase in-game items, character customization, unique abilities, and even access to certain locations on Quest. However, it's crucial that we'll maintain balance and fairness, ensuring that the game doesn't become a pay to win because pay to win tend to be not a good word in web for Web two players. We are focusing on offering cosmetics and other enhancements that don't directly influence gameplay mechanics, but allow players to personalize their experience. Secondly, we can think about a subscription model, a monthly subscription like we can see in other game. It's called Battle Pass for Way to Gamers. It can grant players access to exclusive content, like for example a monthly skin or an access to a new game release and other benefits. So we can have different tier of subscription, offering players flexibility based on their engagement and commitment levels. I can speak about partnerships and collaborations. because Yaku's unique blend of traditional Japanese culture and futuristic elements presents an exciting opportunities for partnership with various brands and industries, like we did, for example, with Honda, even if it's just for now partnerships which is beneficial for us. Whether it's collaboration with anime or manga creators, for example, or technology brands or fashion labels, I can say that in roughly 1 or 2 months, August or September, we will have a partnership with a very famous brand, fashion brand. And this partnership can result in exclusive in-game content and simultaneously open up new revenue streams.
What do you think the ideal state of growth looks like, considering it is a Web3 metaverse game? What do you think would be a healthy growth, or what do you think the ideal state of growth looks like for Yaku?
Okay, so when considering the ideal state of a growth for Yaku as a metaverse game, if you can say that, it's essential to remember that our vision extends beyond traditional metrics of success like user acquisition, retention, and revenues. Instead, we see Yakuza as an expansive and evolving world that grows organically with its player community. The metaverse concept presents an opportunity to imagine growth in multiple dimensions, and here as I envision the ideal state of growth. First, the community, a vibrant and engaged community. The heart of any metaverse is its player community, so the ideal growth of Yaku is not just the number of players, but also in their level of engagement. This involves facilitating deep social connection, fostering an active player economy, and enabling players to contribute to the game's development. We are striving to create a community where players feel a sense of belonging and ownership over their experience in Yaku. I can speak also about diverse and evolving content, because in a metaverse, the game world should feel alive and dynamics with constantly evolving content. This includes new areas to explore, events, quests, and more. So we aim to create a balance between developer-created content and player-generated content, allowing for the organic growth of the Yaku world. I can speak also about seamless integration across chain, because in the ideal state, Yaku will be accessible from a variety of blockchains, offering a smooth experience, especially for Web2 gamers. And a growth in this context means expanding the reach of Yaku to as many players as possible across geographical and technological boundaries. Also, a sustainable business model. A metaverse game needs a sustainable business model to support its continuity growth. So we believe that by focusing on the player experience and providing real value and financial success will follow. So this could come through in-game purchase, partnerships, advertising, like I said before, and other revenue streams that align with the game's ethos and do not disrupt the player experience. And last but not least, the innovation and technological advancements. So as we progress, we anticipate Yaku will integrate newer technology and innovative features, um, like for example, um, artificial intelligence. So we are working on it, and I hope we'll have some announcement in the future. Although virtual reality, blockchain obviously, and other emerging technologies.
Okay, so it's great to hear that that team is thinking about integrating these other technologies in the future. It's definitely awesome to hear. And so now, before we kind of cap it off, is there anything that you would want to kind of share with the community, or anything that you want to let the community know, or because they don't always have the opportunity to hear from you?
That's a hard question. um, I think we need to know that we are a startup. We started um, last year to develop this project, and I personally worked for the last 2 years on it, developing the IPs and managing the foundation of the project. Um, I know a lot of people are very impatient about having the game ready, but we have to know that when we started the project last year, we were in the bull market and everything will be was um, very pushing. The metaverse was very trendy, and we experienced a bear market roughly in April, May, and the metaverse was began to be a bad word, because it was a trend before, and then it's like what happened in Web3. So one day it's trendy, and the other day it's not ready at all. So we tried to adapt ourselves. So we began to create an application. We began to create values differently, and I think today we have a good team. We are an engaged team, passionate people. We have a good product. We have created a game, a multiplayer game, that hundreds of people could join. We have created an application. We have created what we can. It's called a companion app for Web2 gamers. So it's an application that a player could see and manage when they are not playing the game. And I think today we have a very good product. We have very good foundation. We had a very good MVP to summarize, and we have to make sure that in this bear market we have to develop and improve the game to be ready for the bull market. We have to make sure that our marketing are perfect. And when I saw in the past that we want to target Web2 gamers, it was not um, um, to miss Web3 people. It was to enlarge our player base and to be sure that our product is massive adopted by everybody. So what we want today is to release a game playable. We want an open world. We want the Nexus. You will find what is it in the future, and we want to release one game mode. I think everyone know what is it. uh, but we are working hard for months about that. We want everyone to be able to run their bike, and once we have
Number
that,
one question. That's the
number
number
one
one
question.
question.
I
Win
know, I know.
racing. Win racing.
Yeah, when racing, but you know, racing is how to say that when you develop a game, you use um, you leverage on a lot of work of other people. It's how you
Yeah.
develop a game, and any indie games work on plugins, work on pre-made assets, and for example, in the open world we made, there are I don't want to say mistake, but I could tell that we have at least 19% of assets are in-house, and it's awesome, to be honest, because indie game, it's awesome for indie games. And the Russian games we work for a long time now is 100% from scratch, and it's very hard to do. So I can say today is like we work on the racing game. We have a first. I can say it's an MVP, but it's something we can
Getting
start.
towards there. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And we really want to push that. It's our priority because I know a lot of people are waiting for that. Um, so our plan today is to release the Nexus because you will see that the Nexus is the center of everything, and the Nexus is an idea of Elia. I don't know if I can tell you your surname, but it's an idea of you, okay? And it's an awesome idea because it's the center of everything. And one day, you said that hey, why we could just release a place in the game where it will be the beginning of the lore and the game. And then Kinetic and Mind said, okay, we'll create something about that. And they created something incredible. Okay, you will see. But they created something incredible. So we want to release a Nexus. We want to be sure that in the Nexus you can begin your journey in the Yaku game by joining the Yaku world, joining the gameplay. So we are working on 2 gameplay, and once everything will be okay as for an MVP, we will start our marketing to be to onboard Web2 people and especially trust chain people because we really want to market us to market other chain, especially Ethereum or for example layer 2 Ethereum like Immutable X. Immutable X is a layer 2 of Ethereum which have a lot
For
of
gaming, correct?
for gamers, yes. So it's really our target because I'm sorry, I speak about a lot of things, but it's a lot of things happening in my head now. But the problem for gaming is that to onboard gamers, you need to have a less friction as possible.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and the problem is that the first problem is the transaction, the fees, because I don't think Web2 gamers will like to pay fees. First, we like to have to create a wallet, then have to pay fees on each transaction, etc., and etc. So I think to onboard Web2 gamers, we for Web2 gamings, we need to have no transaction fees. And why I think Immutable X is a good have a good approach. I don't think it's a perfect layer to chain, but I think it's smart because they think that every fees have to be payable if there is something to be paid. So, for example, you pay fees when you buy something, but when you don't buy something, you don't pay fees. So it's incredible because when you're playing, like for example, if you receive something, if you're selling something, you don't pay fees. But if you buy an NFT, you pay fees, and it's incredible for the smooth because players pay fees, but only when they pay something. So there is no barrier, and it's
Right. It's the
incredible.
easiest way to
So
onboard.
exactly. So today it's really for us. We really think about on what chain we want to introduce our core transaction system. We don't want to leave Solana. Okay, I don't want to say that, but we want to be sure that our transaction system are on the right chain to onboard a lot of players.
Yeah.
And as we want to onboard as much player as possible, we have to be multi-chain. Okay, so Solana is a no-brain, but for our core transaction system, we need to have as less as possible transaction fees. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, and I think in the future, even potentially looking at having Yaku available from launchers that Web 2 people are already familiar with, who could potentially be looked at.
For Web2 people, I think, sorry, maybe I got too deep in your question, but for onboarding Web2 people, I think we have to be chain agnostic, which means that I think Web2 people want to enter Web3 games. They don't want to do something. They just want to play, you know.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, so they want to download a game, enter a game. They don't want to create a wallet. They don't want to pay something. They want to play. So we have to be sure that this player could buy NFT of sorry buy assets because this player don't care about NFT. You know the word NFTs. For them is assets. They want to buy asset. NFT is just a technology, so they want to buy assets backed by NFT. So they want to buy assets, and they want to buy assets with credit card. Okay, they don't want a wallet. So our game or our application will need to have a technology that allow to sell assets with credit card. So it exists, not a problem. On Solana it exists, on Ethereum it exists, and so people will come, they buy assets with credit card. In the background, a wallet will be created, and then they download the game. And when they download the game, a wallet will be created in background. So it's possible on Solana, on Ethereum also. On Solana, for the information, we work with Star Atlas because Star Atlas work on a Solana SDK. We are in touch with them for months now, and before their SDK don't allow us to create to allow in-game transactions, so it was not interesting for us because we already have had our Unreal Engine wallet integration. But it seems that in their next release, transactions are available. So now we are trying to understand how it's possible and how we can integrate that in our game. Okay, I'm lost. So
No, definitely. I think all the listeners are going to be very happy that you that you're going on a
yes,
tangent a bit. I think they're going to be extremely happy. That's a lot of valuable information right there that you just dropped.
sometimes I'm goes deeper in information. I'm lost. I'm losting myself.
No. Yeah, I know for me even exciting stuff to hear. Exciting stuff. But yeah, so unless you have anything else, we could wrap it up. Definitely great to hear from you, and I know the community's gonna be extremely happy to. They've been asking. You've been the most requested team profile. They wanted to hear from the boss himself. So yeah,
So I
th-
don't know, man. If you have any question more,
I don't know how much time you have available. We could do a few quick fire questions, and then
I
yeah.
have
So
time.
okay.
So I remember people spoke about partnerships.
Yep.
I saw one guy speak about Honda partnership, and in the chat recently. Um, so the Honda partnership was made with my personal connection, and when you are a new games, a new brand, on Honda or that kind of huge brand don't need you.
At all.
They just be aware of you because you are on Web3, you are a game, probably a metaverse, and they said just, oh, it's interesting. So you have to leverage on that and say, hey, it's interesting, but maybe we can do something. Okay, it will not cost you anything, but for us, we just display your brand in our metaverse, and it will be great. People will be see you as a I don't know
Pioneer,
an innovative brand,
right?
and everyone will be okay. Everyone is variated, so it's exactly why on that partnership was made. Um, in the future, we will try to go deeper in the partnership. We like if one day they want to, for example, create an NFT collection of cars, maybe we will try to create an in-game shop, for example.
Yeah,
This is
storefront, right?
yeah, storefront. This is exactly because I don't know if you guys are aware of, but a few months ago in February, I was pitching Renault. It's a French brand of cars. I think everyone is aware of that brand.
Yep.
And yeah, and I pitching them to open a storefront in Yaku. But the first question that they asking me is, "Do you guys are on Ethereum?"
Yeah.
And I said, "No, we are on Solana, but we are integrating Ethereum." And they said, "What is Solana?"
Yeah.
So I was confused, and so I am in touch with them, but I think it will be easier in the future to integrate them because they have an NFT collection about a Renault 5. It's a car from I don't know 40 years ago, and I thought that having their car integrated in Yaku would be awesome because, like Chacha cars, you can buy an NFT in their shop and be able to run and drive the car into the game. I think it will be awesome. I think for the Yaku game, it's the first uh, utilities of an NFT collection because you have an NFT collection of cars, of any other assets, and for me, a shop in a Web2 game has to be Web3 focused. So, like you enter in the shop, and you have to be able to fetch every NFT listed. For example, you enter the Renault shop, and you have to be able to fetch every listed Renault cars in the game and try the cars listed. And if you're happy with them, then you buy the cars. And I think it's a very innovative way to buy NFT in a gaming experience.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that's a whole lot better of a customer end experience of being able to actually interact with the products and everything in a whole different sense versus just seeing know like the JPEG.
yeah, exactly. For the gaming experience, I think it's where we have to focus on.
So
Uh, but
there was one thing that you said, kind of when you're talking about the partnerships with Web2 companies and how they how they're all familiar with more familiar with Ethereum. So is that something that maybe in the future we'll explore to kind of help the Web2 side partnerships? You kind of touched on how when you were interacting with some Web2 brands that they're more familiar and there's almost more of a established credibility to Web2 to Ethereum in terms of Web2 vendors and brands. So do you think that's something that could be explored in the future?
I think as a Web3 brand, we don't have to care about the technology behind. I think that I personally think that Solana is an incredible technology, and especially have an incredible marketing. For me, Solana is the Apple of Web3 ledger. Okay, uh, but as a Web3 game, we don't care about that. We care about because the blockchain is just an underlying technology.
Right. A tool.
Yeah, I maybe I will maybe I'm not right. Okay, but I think that the community behind the blockchain is not. Maybe it's we have to care about that today, but in a 5 or 10 year, nobody will care about because a blockchain is an underlying technology, and we have to select what the underlying technology will apport us. I don't know if it's in English. Sorry, shocking language. But so I think that being on Ethereum is a smart move if and only if it will drive to us a lot of people. If a lot of people and a lot of projects. If we are on Ethereum and it drives to us a lot of people and a lot of projects like Renault or like a lot of famous brand, I think we have to be on Ethereum. So at the beginning, I decided to be on Solana because of the lower fees and because of the closer community. But I think now we have an MVP of the game. We have to enlarge our vision. I don't think we have to forget Solana, but I think we have to explore other blockchain and maybe explore other communities. And it's a no-brainer to explore Ethereum or other communities. But today, I think Ethereum is the first blockchain for a gaming development, to be honest. I hope I don't say a mistake, but I hope the community will understand that. I don't say we are moving to Ethereum, okay? But I say that it's always interesting to explore a new unexplored area.
This is what I kind of my kind of take on it is me personally. I think it's in the greatest benefit for everyone, including all of our friends in the Solana community as well, and our holder community within Solana as well. I think really the best thing for Yaku, the project, the universe, is really to get us the most, the biggest help to everyone would be the a huge onboarding and getting that kind of stage. And I think we have all the development and we have all the like execution there. I think definitely just being on Ethereum. The thing is, like you said, they're just technology. So when you're, let's say, I'm designing a vehicle, and certain type of vehicles, it may be better to have a battery powered, or other vehicles maybe it's more efficient for them to use gasoline powered. I think underlying technologies that only at first are they viewed as kind of like opposed or in separate camps because so few people have adopted them, that kind of the fans of each camp um, kind of sets up like tribes is they're so new and early. But I think ultimately, like you said, all that's going to be phased out because it is underlying technology, and ultimately the end user really only cares about the functionality of the chain. They don't necessarily care what chain it's on, or they don't care this. They care if the gameplay is smooth and the functionality is there. So I definitely agree, and I think a lot of the community would be bullish, definitely on exploration into Ethereum, and definitely I think that's going to be some. I think you talking about that's definitely going to have some community members excited. So
if there weren't immutable X layer 2 blockchain, maybe I wouldn't have that kind of speak, but I really think the first thing we have to question ourselves is Web2 gamers come to Web3 games just want to pay something on each transaction? And on Solana, you need to pay something on each transaction. And if it's just few centimes, we can take that in English, centimes, I don't know.
like cents, yeah.
Yeah, cents. Okay, cents. Okay. So if you have just to pay some cents, it's money, you know. So it's an extra steps. You have to click on allow. I allow, pay some cents to
Yeah, and it
just
just doesn't
have
feel good. It just doesn't feel
exactly,
good as a user.
exactly,
You know, the thing is, Web2 gamers aren't gonna necessarily understand that the chain, like that's the way the Solana chain works. They're gonna, it might feel to them as if Yaku, like we're taxing them at every turn for every transaction, etc. And it would kind of be like a very unpleasant user experience.
exactly, exactly. And in when you I use it to run uh, web business of clothing, and the main target was to reduce every step from the visit of the website to the buy of a product. So you have to reduce every steps, and I think it's the same for playing a game. So when you want to play a game, you have to reduce every steps, and I truly think that paying something for each transaction is killing everything. It's literally killing everything. And that's why I think that Immutable X smartly killed everything, because they make transaction fees where a user have to pay something. So it's smooth. When you pay something, you play fuck you pay
Hey,
something you pay something, and it's smooth because you pay once everything. But when you don't have to pay something, it's free. And for me, it's the base for gaming. Literally.
definitely.
Yeah.
I agree, and I definitely agree. The any friction for the Web2 gamer
Exactly.
is the
Exactly.
worst thing possible. We just want
Yeah.
to remove all possible friction and make it as seamless as possible, where they can just jump in and play, and they don't have to think about what is an NFT. What is, they don't have to think about anything. They just play.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. I think um once we reach that step, then we're then really ready for full scalability and really having the full Web2 community
Yeah.
integrate.
But it's a deal because in Solana we waited an SDK for 1 year from now, and there is nothing. In Ethereum, there are a lot of SDK, but for Immutable X, there is SDK for Unity, but not for Unreal Engine. But I think we could hack the system and find a way to have an SDK for Ethereum working on Immutable X. But it's a thing, okay? So we have to develop that. But I think it's a good way for us to have a deeper um, development on that. and yeah, we'll keep you updated about our development. But
Yeah, I think that's super exciting for sure. Daishizen coming with the mini alpha.
I don't know. I'm trying. But yeah,
But
it's difficult to just one last word. It's difficult to give a lot of alpha. I know Web3 people are writing a lot of alpha, and I think it's really easy for PHP project to give a lot of alpha because it does not imply a lot of development behind. Um, project like the gods are awesome project. I cannot say it's a bad project. It's awesome project because they succeed. Okay, just because they succeed, it's awesome project. But it's a PFP project, So they do just hyping and providing alpha. But when you develop a game, you have a lot of development. You have a lot of team working behind. So it's really difficult to give alpha because when you give an alpha, you imply a lot of people working behind. And if, for example, in the past we gave a lot of alpha, but if you say, "Hey, we are working on that, and we are releasing that," okay, but behind you have people working on that, and they are in research and development, and maybe 1 week after they will say, "Hey, sorry guys, but we find that issues and we have to delay the development." So it's very difficult to adapt your marketing because it's not a clean road. You can't say in 1 month we will build that because maybe and probably we will have a lot of issues and you will have to delay. So just because of Web3. If we was in Web2, maybe it would be easier, probably. But because we are in Web3, we have a lot of difficulties. And the first example is in-game transaction because we are waiting on SDK for a year now, and we have nothing. So it's not our work to create an SDK. It's a different project. So we depend on a lot of providers, and it's very difficult to give alpha. But we are trying our best. We'll try to give a lot of alpha when it's possible, and yeah, we'll try
no,
to.
I definitely agree, and that's definitely something I hope the community can understand. Yeah, there's so many exciting things that we're working on. We would love to go ahead and let the community know about everything, but just you know we uh, we have to be uh, we have to consider how long rollouts will take and what tasks are being prioritized, etc. So that's we focus we prefer more to try to deliver more than just give a lot of alpha.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah, so definitely that's but yeah, I think there is a good balance of alpha here today. So I think there'll be a lot for the community to think about, and just it's definitely a great opportunity to hear from you.
yeah,
So
and I think for the future, we want to. I posted a message today in the team server. I think it would be great to make the game available not full time, but maybe 1 or 2 days per week. Because from the past, we saw that when we had the game available full time, we have few people in the game for days, And I think if we have the game available 1 or 2 days per week, we could organize events around that, maybe events with our partners, and we could have a lot of people available in the same time in the game and have a better engagement. So I think it's a thing, okay? It's not a decision, but I think now we have the game available on Amazon Game Lift. We could release the game once a week or twice a week and organize events around it and make the community more implicated in the development.
um me personally, and like I said, we could edit all this. Hopefully, I know Kinetic will be thinking about where to cut and everything. But me personally, I think honestly, I think you might be underselling a bit of. I expect just kind of from the market analysis that I've done, and just kind of looking at the conditions and everything. I think there might be a good sizable onboarding that's going to necessitate like daily, like they're going to want to play every day. If we look at other similar type of projects, which I think we have the ability definitely to surpass for sure. Like let's say Star Atlas or other projects, they have a pretty sizable player base, and I think we could definitely at least last year,
Yeah.
if not more. I think the gameplay loops will be so engaging and everything. So I think you might be a little underselling the ability and the how many players are going to want to jump in the verse.
Yeah. About that, I can say that I posted a message about that in the Yaku main chat channel. We are working with Epic Games to be available in the Epic Store, and I had a message today about them, and I think it's going in the right way. I think I can't be sure of it, but we are a very great collaboration, and I think the game will be available on the Epic Game Store.
And
I
it's
think.
it's a natural to me. It's a natural connection with the
Yeah,
fact that we're built on Unreal, and that's
absolutely.
the foundation of Epic. So I
Yeah,
think really that's a hand in hand partnership, and that's kind of why I say that. I think if we're up on on the Epic Game Store, I can see a large influx of players, and especially this is where I can speak a little more confidently in terms of the marketing aspect and everything.
yeah,
I know in terms of what I have planned and for the rollout, I expect that there'll be a good size demand. So we might need to have the game running every day because
yeah, yeah,
yeah, based on the trust me, at least if I can execute on the plan that I'm really working on in terms of the marketing rollout for the next couple months, I think we have some promising days ahead. That's all I'll say.
yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I
uh,
mean, I feel
okay.
like we got most of everything through, and I know people are gonna have a lot to be happy about and really think about after this interview. And yeah, we're hoping once we have the game live, we're hoping to get you on stream for a let's play or something.
No problem. No problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
that would be
If you don't
awesome.
understand me, no problem. But yeah, as a last word, don't worry. We are still working. We are still developing in background. Um, we have everyone in the team working. So um, I know sometimes it's very difficult to understand how a team which develop a game try to market things, but we are adapting ourselves. We are listening people. So if you have an interrogation or just want to explain how we can do better with compare us to other gaming projects, but it's important to compare us with other gaming projects and not to other PFP project on other Web3 project. Okay, so if you want to say, hey, this other gaming project do better than us, than you, sorry, um, just check and make your opinion. For me, it's just the perfect um, improvement asking you can do. just push us in front of our responsibilities and say, hey, this project, this gaming project, do that. Why you are don't do that? And we'll just answer you and say why or why not we are not doing that. I don't know if it's clear, but
No, I definitely understand. Basically,
okay,
we're always open to suggestions and constructive criticism, and we're
always.
more than right. We're more than happy to hear it from the community, and one, if not multiple, team members are always in chat to hear the ideas of the community, whether they be lore ideas, implementations within just the structure of everything. So we're always all ears, and we're always here to hear whatever the community has to say.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Open a ticket, speak with us, and we will brainstorm with us without any problem.
Yep.
Any
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyone coming to the team positively and constructively always is always met with the same.
100%.
Yeah.
And in the future, we'll try to imply everyone on the development, and hand in hand, we will develop that game, and we'll be sure that everyone will be happy, and especially will be able to compete with Web3 games and then Web2 games, which will be the hardest part. But we have a lot of value in Web3, so I'm sure it will be. There is a space for us as Web3 games. We have a beautiful technology, we have a beautiful community, so there is a space for us to compete with Web2 games, even if they have a lot of fans. Because just one word about startup development. Having funds um, is not the only thing you need. You know, um, you need to have a strong team, a creative team. You need to have a strong idea. You have to have the technologies. But having funds is not enough, and this is just why sometimes you have a startup who came out from nowhere and compete with Web2 giants. Exactly. So just um, don't make your expectation only about funds.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely. I think the quality of our product and what we're building
exactly.
is
Exactly.
not only is the niche unique and I think it's unserved. Like I can't think of any anime like anime type of MMO out. I cannot really like Final Fantasy a little bit, but then they don't have the cyberpunk aspects. They don't, and they're completely geared towards more. Uh, I would say like there's a higher curve to entry with like the fantasy aspect. I think Yaku has a perfect balance that can appeal to all type of players
Exactly.
that not only love fantasy but also more action based games or more cyberpunk, or we just have a specific niche that I personally see as unfulfilled, and that's kind of what actually drew me to the project originally, was just the concept. I was like, wow, like I've always wanted to play a game like this, but there's nothing out like that, and I think that's really the strength and power of the gameplay.
Exactly. When you create a startup, there is two things important. The first is a team, because with a great team, even if you have not a perfect product, you can adjust. So the first is a team, and the second is the product. If you have a strong team and a strong product, you can do everything, because you can pitch a lot of things and have things and develop your idea. So if you have the team and the product, you are perfect. And I guess in Yaku we have the team and the product. Our game is really different in terms of floor and the lore is the center of everything. You have the lore, we have the gameplay, we have the game, we have the multiplayer, we have everything. So I'm not worrying about everything. I'm at all.
Yeah, neither am I. And that's why I'm always I'm never worried going into the spaces or anything because I really believe in the product, and from all the development that I get to see as a team member, it puts that confidence in me of I know what we're building, and I know what we have.
Great.
Yeah, so I appreciate you doing this long form interview. I know a lot of communities wanting to hear something like this for a while, so it'll be definitely, I think well received. So we appreciate it.